Hey everybody, Alex Kozora, SteelersDepot.com, back with a Pittsburgh Steelers preview and prediction for this Thursday night game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns. Let's talk about it. Before we start, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Would really appreciate that. Sorry this video is coming out a bit later. Been a crazy week going from Sunday to Thursday, as I'm sure is the case for the actual Pittsburgh Steelers. So quick preview here on the 2-8 Cleveland Browns. Offensively, a better unit with Jameis Winston at quarterback, a more aggressive unit. Winston pushing the ball downfield, having more success. The points have not necessarily always been there, but even in the Saints game last week, only 14 points, but Winston throws for 395, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a big 89-yard score to wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. And so you're seeing some of those big plays that just simply were not there with Deshaun Watson, makes them a more dangerous unit. Now, Winston is a live by the sword, die by the sword type of quarterback. Once was a 30-30 touchdown to interception ratio guy a couple years back in Tampa Bay. So Pittsburgh has to capitalize on his aggressiveness and make sure they don't take too many hits along the way. Could this be the game where Minkah Fitzpatrick finally gets his first interception in nearly 2 years? Would sure be nice. Pick off Winston once, twice, 3 times. You should be in pretty good shape overall. And how well can that Browns offensive line hold up? They're on their third string left tackle, a veteran in Jermaine Ifedi, who's got a lot of experience, but his first career start at left tackle, been a right tackler or guard for most of his NFL career. So that's a really good matchup for somebody like a Nick Herbig. The run game, Cleveland just simply has not been able to get into a rhythm or a flow because they're playing from behind and they're just not as effective. They've had some O-line injuries up front. Jerome Ford's an explosive guy, and the run scheme is overall still the same. A lot of outside zone, a lot of guards on the move. They trust their guards. Batonio, Teller are still two of the better in football. They run to the boundary quite a bit. They want to be physical. Ford's still been their top guy. Nick Chubb, of course, returns in his first game since getting hurt against Pittsburgh last year. I mean, he came back earlier this year, but his first game facing Pittsburgh since the 2023 injury just does not look like the same guy. The yards per carry is low. The run success rate is low. You watch him on tape, that pop, that explosiveness, just not quite there. But still, he's Nick Chubb, and I don't want to underestimate Nick Chubb. I think he's being hurt by how often they're giving the ball to him when he's on the field. Over half of his snaps have resulted in carries to him. And so there's kind of a red light that goes off when he's out there, and I think teams are keying in on that. Cleveland overall, they're a multi-tight end team. They got some weapons to throw to even after trading Amari Cooper. Got David Njoku at tight end. You got Tillman at receiver, Jeudy, Elijah Moore. I think they had 6 receivers with 20-plus receptions this year. Pittsburgh, comparatively, only has 3. And so, while they don't have that Cooper true X-receiver separator, Jeudy, I think, is in that similar vein. So is Moore. There's some size in the red zone with the tight ends. With a big body guy like Tillman, Pittsburgh will have to deal with that. Defensively, the Browns kind of remind me of the Ravens, where there's a talented group, there's some good coaching, they've been productive in the past, they're just an underachieving unit this year. Now, the Ravens' run defense is still really strong. Cleveland's not there. They're a one-gap penetrate type of team, and so I wonder if Pittsburgh can hit some quick-hitting plays, some wham blocks, maybe power, but that hasn't looked as good on tape. But I just wonder if you can get through that first level, that first wave of defensive linemen trying to shoot up field and disrupt and create some chaos. There'll be some big runs on the other side. The linebacking core is not standing out. They lost JOK. He will not play in this game, and that was their top guy in the middle. You got undrafted free agent from a couple of years back in Diabate. You got ex-Steeler Devin Bush. I think Pittsburgh can have success in that interior with McCormick and Frazier and Malu. That's where I think Pittsburgh can really start to take control of this game. The pass rush, Cleveland can still get a rush. There's still Myles Garrett. How do you handle him? Identifying him in terms of alignment and then post-snap twists and stunts and games that Cleveland will run. It's generally the same defense, the same DC, the same pieces, talent in the secondary, probably guys not playing quite to their level, but I want to see George Pickens against their corner, Denzel Ward. That should be a really good matchup. Ward leads the NFL with 17 pass breakups on the season, but Cleveland, they're not taking the ball away. They're good on third down, so I want to see that, but they're poor in the red zone. So I want to see Pittsburgh's struggling red zone offense hopefully have some success. I know the Saints had a ton of success with Taysom Hill last week. Pittsburgh, in some respects, can replicate that, but Hill is not Justin Fields. Hill does a lot more, and so I don't want to assume that you can just copy and paste that. But with the weather being what it likely is to be, rainy, sleet, maybe some snow, some wind, going to be a little less in the pass game, more in the run game. And Pittsburgh, I think, can lean and utilize on Justin Fields in some of that situational football. And then I would just note, last thing, watch for anything tricky from the Browns. They're 2-8, primetime game against Pittsburgh, trying to take the Steelers down a peg. Will they try a fake punt, a flea flicker, something kind of funky on a short week? Pittsburgh not having a ton of time to prepare and practice, or just trying to focus on the base stuff that Cleveland does. Don't be surprised if Cleveland gets kind of funky in this game. So for my prediction, I will take the Steelers in this one, but a close, ugly game on the road. Pittsburgh has not had success in Cleveland recently. 2-4-1 in their last 7 games. They've lost 4 of the last 5, including last year. So got this one 17-14 Pittsburgh. A win is a win. I'll take it on a short week on the road to go to 9-2. No problem with that. I really don't care how Pittsburgh wins tonight, just given the circumstances. I'll take a win essentially any way that they can get it, as long as they win and they come out of this game healthy overall. But I do think it's going to be tight. I think Winston will have success. They're a better team with Winston than they have been with Deshaun Watson. The defense still has some playmakers that can do some damage in this one, and it just has a recipe with the weather to be a close, tight, ugly, last-minute victory. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. And also like this video, and we'll have a ton more content for you guys post-game, late into the night, into Friday, and of course throughout the weekend. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.